They got their own site. Robert. See you, Robert.
All right. Call to order. First thing on the agenda is nomination election of chairperson and vice chairperson.
I nominate Rick as chairperson.
Second.
Railroad. We got to have the second.
Second.
You talk to these guys.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstain. All right, let's,
Thank you, Rick.
Well done.
you guys,
Vice Chair,
yeah, we need a vice chair.
nominate Mandy.
I second that. Sounds good to me. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Special presentations. We got any of those?
We have none.
So do we not have enough already?
Okay, we need a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting.
Motion to approve minutes from last meeting.
I second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous.
Just for the record, that was a motion by Page, a second by Zumberg.
Zumberg, yeah.
Zumberg, thank you.
Rolling now. Oral communications, don't have any this session. Old business. What do we got for old business?
We have none.
Perfect.
Wow.
New business. Okay, you're on now, Sam.
Okay, so in your packet of your second business meeting here is your work plan from the prior year. You can choose to just roll that work plan over essentially, or modify it, add to it. I believe that everything on it is still relevant. I do want to note that, and this will come up in subcommittees, the way we manage the Green Subcommittee and the House Subcommittee can no longer occur. They cannot be, essentially, those are considered standing subcommittees. So going forward, if you desire to continue with those subcommittees, they have to be publicly agendized and duly noticed meetings with minutes. From a staff perspective, that's going to be an extra drain on our resources. So you may want to think about how we can better address that. Maybe there's an opportunity for the chair to meet with staff, or the vice chair to meet with staff. That's typically how things will roll on other commissions and committees. I know that it's been effective for a number of years, but we can no longer continue to do that based on the Brown Act. So we'll have to figure out an alternative to that.
I mean, I think it's important that those meetings and subcommittees somewhat are still intact, because they do quite a bit of good. The House Subcommittee is very useful. The Green Subcommittee provides a lot of good information. But if there's another avenue to collecting that same information, I mean...
Yeah, the only avenue, so your one option is you propose as part of your work plan to create a standing subcommittee for the Greens Committee and the House Subcommittee. And that would then, you'd have to do what we've always done, which is appoint members to that. But then it does require an agenda to be created. And then that would have to be posted 72 hours in advance. This is a very similar setup to how the Design Review Subcommittee is, which is a component of the Planning Commission. So those are all noticed meetings, the public is invited, and minutes are taken. So it does change the way these subcommittees have worked historically. And I understand the importance of these subcommittees, but it will become a little bit more cumbersome to notice them and do the minutes and all of that.
So let me get it straight. So Ben and I meet with the superintendent normally, and we go over the course conditions and everything along those lines. But now we have to set up a time and then have it agendized through you
Correct,
and then publicized
correct,
before we meet, so that takes 2 or 3 days from when we want to set up a meeting.
correct.
I got it.
And someone from staff needs to be part of that too?
That's correct.
And can it be in any location? Can it be at the golf course still?
Yes, the location can be determined based on the agenda as it's set.
But the fact that we used to go out in carts and go look at things and stuff like that has to now.
As long as the public is able to get the same access to those cards and go at the same pace as the committee, then that's okay.
And that's why we meet in the clubhouse.
Yeah, it might change that aspect of it, but,
Yeah.
Well, how would you be able to tour the course
He-
and report back the way you do now? Isn't that report the thing that can go to the public? The report that they make?
Today, for example, we're gonna get the Green Subcommittee report, and that will be provided to the public agenda going forward, and it'll be entered into the record. Going forward, though, what happened this morning when the Green Subcommittee met, that would have needed to be a noticed meeting 72 hours in advance. And there would have had been a formal agenda put together, and staff would have needed to keep minutes, essentially, and then those would have to be voted on and then go to council for approval.
And then the public can be at that meeting?
It becomes another public meeting, essentially, yeah.
just disappear.
So we have the House Subcommittee, the Green Subcommittee, the Master Plan Subcommittee. Is that
So the that's a great example. So the master plan subcommittee is a perfect example of an ad hoc subcommittee. It has a sunset date. There's a very clear purpose and goal, and once the master plan is done, the subcommittee goes away. There's not a specific goal or purpose or ending to the Green Subcommittee. We're constantly evaluating the Greens in the course. We're constantly evaluating the House operations. There's not an end to that.
So an ad hoc committee plays under different rules?
Correct. An ad hoc committee doesn't need to be a public meeting or agendized or kept with minutes. It can be a report back to the committee on progress, but there's somewhat of an expectation it's going to end within a year or so.
So is there any other way that some group of this, committee can meet with the superintendent and talk through stuff that's going on at the golf course?
Absolutely. That can happen absolutely any time. Any member of the public can call up the superintendent and say, I want to meet with you and I want to walk the course. That's the expectation staff's in, that we are always available to meet. What can't happen is a regular meeting of 2 golf committee members who are appointed by the committee. So again, you could say the chair is going to meet with the superintendent on a quarterly basis. That would be okay. That's not a subcommittee. There's not an agenda. Any one of you individually could meet with staff at any time to get an update on the course or give feedback.
And then report back in as part of their business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, you could report back, and I met with the superintendent, and we addressed concerns along this area.
But that
of
can
the
only be
course.
one person at a time.
That's correct.
So we can't really submit findings via
To staff, yeah, that's really the easiest route. That also may allow the opportunity for issues to be addressed on an ongoing basis, so that way you're not waiting to the end of this. Again, if there's a need to get regular updates, or you're wanting to hear regular updates from staff, then let us know what that is and we can keep that in the agenda as a talking point.
So it's just more than one person that creates the
That's
Brown
correct.
Act violation.
That's correct.
And 2 people from the committee meet together to discuss what the other person talked to the superintendent about?
Highly ill-advised.
Okay.
That could become a serial meeting, which is what we want to avoid.
Okay.
So we wouldn't have these committees then?
Correct, you wouldn't have a Green Subcommittee or a House Subcommittee. Now, I'll give you another example. Say we want to specifically look at the Greens fees and fees in general. You could create a subcommittee for fees. Those 2 people can meet, because there's an end goal. It would be an ad hoc subcommittee. Same thing if you want to create a subcommittee to address issues raised along 13. or 14 or 12 or wherever hole you want to, you could do that because there's a specific goal and an end.
Okay.
So on that note, I was going to bring up as one of the items for the work plan, increasing fees.
Mhm.
So I suggest we have a subcommittee and discuss that so we can bring that information to the next golf committee meeting.
Is that not part of the one that we already have for the master
I
plan?
don't think.
So, it is a great suggestion, and I would put it in your work plan, even if it's not specifically spelled out, because to Ben's point, it is within the master plan, but I think it would be helpful to have that group look at fees as they're rolled out.
With it being part of the master plan, Samantha, I mean, when will the master plan start? We've been trying to get the fees increased for nearly 2 years. And we've not been able to do anything because of the master plan.
So we can increase fees at any time. We were hoping that we would be a little farther along the master plan process. We're not, and that's okay. So we could, if you want to put that on your work plan and we want to look at fees as soon as possible, it could come up at our next special meeting if that's the case.
I'd like to do that,
Okay.
absolutely. And then I'd like to be on that.
Why don't you make why don't we add that as an ad hoc subcommittee for fee
For this particular.
reviews?
Okay.
And Robert and I, unless it's someone else wants to.
No, you can't get someone else.
No, she can't on an ad hoc.
I know, and I.
She can get one more person.
Three.
Yeah, if
Oh, no, sorry, not 3, she can have
No,
2.
no, 2.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't hear there was a 3rd.
Why don't you work with Grady, you know,
Well,
or Robert, unless Robert really wants to.
do you want to?
Yes,
You would like to do it?
yes.
What-
I've actually done quite a bit of research on it.
Oh,
Good.
I have a whole
Most
spreadsheet
great.
Okay.
of all the local golf courses in the
Oh,
Rockies.
fabulous.
That's what I was.
Fabulous.
Sorry, Greg.
No,
Okay.
So that would be Robert and I. And then the other thing I wanted to ask about was, I know there was a meeting on Tuesday, and there was a proposal presented at the city council for, I think, the city to take over the pro shop. And is that not something, well, that's something I would like the golf committee to hear about and be a part of the advisory committee to the city council to know what the options are. I think that should be one of our things to do.
Okay, that's fine, we can add that to the work plan. I will say that that's expected to come back relatively quickly to council. They're looking for that in September most likely. So if you want to establish a subcommittee, we can add it to the work plan. Your work plan probably won't go to council until September for approval, but we can add it.
So are you saying then the proposal's going to go to council before we've had a chance to talk about it?
That's correct.
Sounds like it.
It could, unless you want to quickly put together a subcommittee this evening.
I'd like to put together something.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'd like to see what the proposal was as well, because we haven't seen what it was.
I will give an update on that in my staff
Okay.
communications.
And so, would anyone like to be on that second?
Yeah, I'll be on. Put me down.
So that's Mandy and Rick?
Yeah.
Yes.
Samantha, how do we submit new items for the annual work plan?
Right now,
Right now,
yes.
I'd like to add a revision of the scorecards.
Okay.
That incorporates combo tees. It's something that's already kind of been floated.
Okay.
So which one of you, what gets pulled off of the one from last time?
So I'll run down. You've got the golf course master plan update will remain. You will continue to provide input on priority projects. We will add the revision of scorecards. We will keep review urgent needs of the golf course. We will add a fees subcommittee, if you will. I'll work on that title. And then we will add a pro shop operations review subcommittee.
And then will you set meetings for those subcommittees?
Yeah.
Thanks.
That's all under new business, letter A.
Yeah, so if what I just said in summary sounds good, unless there's anything else, I would like a motion and a second and a vote, please.
I motion to adopt what you just said.
What we just went over.
Yes.
Opposed
I
or-
second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous.
Okay.
Item B, resolution concerning future golf course committee meeting times.
So this is an opportunity that the committee has at the beginning of every new fiscal year, essentially, to look at its meeting times by resolution. You currently meet regularly at 6 p.m. You can seek to change that if you'd like as a body. It could go, we previously spoke about this when Jordan was still on staff.
Yeah.
He had some conflicts earlier in the day, so it didn't work to move it up. But really the committee can move it anytime during the day. And this is the opportunity to do that.
Discussion.
Personally, from a work perspective and stuff, after 4:30 would be best, just so it doesn't conflict with the.
So you're talking any time after 4:30.
Yeah.
Grady,
I'm flexible, that works for me.
me too, I'm flexible.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm
Flexible.
Ever 10 works.
Yeah.
So,
Either, I mean, I could probably even support 4 o'clock if you want 4 or 5, basically, probably, whichever one.
I wouldn't mind meeting at 5.
5? Okay.
5
Five
sounds good.
sounds good.
Move it up an hour.
Yeah.
Good.
We've shown that we can be here.
Yeah.
Okay, so we will have a motion from Ben and a second by
I'll second.
Robert, okay? And it's,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
and that's to go to 5 p.m.
Items from the staff, what do you got? The fourth quarter course. Yeah, that was a pretty significant jump, up to 114,000 rounds.
Wow.
Yeah. Sometimes.
Into the summer.
Just under 90 and jump. Okay. The actual flow. Signatures.
It was interesting, the number of residence cards went up, and I think that's because of the new confirmation of ID. Of people thinking, showing, they have to show utility bills, they have to show, and not just their driver's license.
So you would, yeah, more residents start playing golf, I guess, too, probably comes down to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that the most rounds ever in one fiscal year?
Yes.
I mean, it's
Amazing.
40,000 more than 2 years ago.
And the average around here, Southern California is 45,000. It's off the charts. This is.
Yeah, 2.5 times that.
Yeah.
Are there any questions on that report? Further?
That looks good.
Okay. If it's okay with the chair, I'd like to go into staff communications.
Bring it on.
Okay. I'll start with a staffing update. As everyone's aware, we are working with a temp supervisor or superintendent, Jim Federle. He's been out on the course. Hopefully you guys have had a chance to see him or meet him. He is coming out early and trying to just blend in strategically. Jim is a very well-tenured superintendent, 40 plus years of golf superintendent experience coming from Strawberry Farms. In Irvine, he also worked in Costa Mesa at several different municipal courses as well. He's a San Clemente resident. He lives along the golf course and is just really enjoying his time And he's done a great job of continuing the efforts that Jordan had put forth within the course, and also bringing in just a wealth of expertise and knowledge from an industry standpoint. He has a lot of great resources and has been able to support the staff and make some really positive alterations to areas that maybe weren't going to work out in the long run. So just related to maintenance specifically. So we're happy to have Jim on board. To that same effect, we will be recruiting for a superintendent. Absolutely, that position will be recruited for and filled. I do want to share that ahead of that, we are trying to understand and assess all of the wages for our golf course workers. The city went through an extensive classroom comp study about, a little over a year ago. And there were some changes within the golf area, but it is my belief, at least from the director's standpoint, that we can do a little bit better for our staff. As we even heard tonight, they do an incredible amount of work to keep the course running and in good shape, and it is why we have 114,000 rounds, because the course is terrific. So we want to find good compensation for them so we can keep them. It's hard to keep staff interested in coming into work at 5 a.m. every day. It's not an ideal shift, so we're going to see what we can do to recruit a great superintendent and also compensate our existing crew as well. That information will go directly to council. It won't come by the committee, as it's a staffing piece, and it's also a budget piece. So that will go straight to council. You will be notified of when that occurs. We'll copy you on that notification. Are there any questions on staffing? I have a few more things I want to run through.
Well, yeah, I just have a comment. I had a chance to meet Jim and met with him and Jeff for the subcommittee. And I've never seen the courses in better shape, and the greens are just like carpets. And I think you should take the term interim out if he's agreeable to it. Gosh, they're just doing a great job, and I don't know what you're paying them, but I don't know what you have to pay a superintendent, but they look really good right now. They've come up with a lot of innovative ideas. I love the railings and fences on number 1, that looks great. And they gave me a lot of things that they were going to go over that they don't go over on the report, but go ahead, that was just my little take on it.
We would like to keep Jim, but I don't know that he wants to come out of retirement so much, so.
Can you keep him in a consulting role going forward too?
That will be one of our options.
Somebody potentially
Yeah.
as well?
Yeah, his skill set and just his expertise.
Seems to work great, him passing on the ideas to Jeff, and Jeff implements them, so
Yep, we're certainly.
get away with that, that'd be great.
As the golf committee was notified, we had a number of items that came to council on Tuesday evening. One of them, the first item was the donation program for benches and drinking fountains along the course. The council approved that. So that is a program that we're integrating into the existing care program. There'll be a formal policy that was approved. And Debbie and I will be working with our GIS coordinator for the city to come up with kind of a really engaging interactive map online that demonstrates exactly where benches are available based on the committee's recommendation and mapping that was reviewed. So give us a couple of weeks to get that up and running, but we hope to bring it back in November for kind of an unveil, and then we'll do a pretty large kind of press release and marketing campaign. I will say we already have interest. We've already gotten a few phone calls of people ready to donate towards the benches. So that's great news. I appreciate your guys' work on that. We also had a large appropriation of funding provided. A lot of it was equipment. There was a significant amount of equipment requests that came through. Again, that is a good piece of recommendation that came from Mr. Federley, combined with our mechanic and our lead worker right now. So that was all approved. They're going to get some great equipment to help them out and replace some parts and pieces. That also included funding to paint our restrooms and do some re-roofing on the restrooms throughout the course as well. And then Wedgwood also received a supplemental appropriation to address, they have a water heater issue and they have a kitchen flooring issue, so they'll be replacing their flooring. The Wedgwood pieces come out of our capital improvement fund, which is a joint account with Wedgwood, so it's a little bit separate from even the golf fund, if you will. Any questions on equipment and funding that was approved?
Nope.
Okay. And then the last piece was the consideration of pro shop operations going forward. As it was stated in the council meeting, Dave Cook's pro shop operation contract comes to an end at the end of 2026. And staff were just seeking direction from council on where to go. One of those options being a study or feasibility study into what it would look like to manage the operations in-house. There were starter operations in-house a number of decades ago, so it has existed in the past. But this is a comprehensive look at how that could pan out, both financially and logistically as well. Part of that could be an option though as well to go out to RFP. Council could certainly give that direction, that they could see the in-house operation. They could also say, we would also like to go out to RFP. When we go out to RFP, it's a public call for proposals, and we would likely get proposals from a number of different golf management companies, and those would be reviewed thoroughly as our regular RFP process is done. So again, no decisions have been made. This is just seeking direction. We at the staff level see the end of 2026 will come quickly, so we're trying to be proactive in how we manage that transition. It does need to be seamless. We recognize that, regardless of what the operation is, it needs to be without skipping a beat. So, are there any questions on that?
Yeah, what is our committee's involvement in either reviewing, if it goes to RFP, reviewing, bids and things like that, or providing any input on that, or the feasibility study, giving some feedback on that? How did we play into that?
So if it's out to RFP, typically that would be something the committee would review proposals for. In my experience, an RFP of this is you're going to get maybe 4 proposals that are responsive, maybe 5. So the committee could choose to review all of those. It's likely that staff would go through at a first pass and provide the ones that are most responsive and work best with the course. And then the committee could provide feedback from there and pass a recommendation on to City Council for an award of contract. There's always the chance that the council wants to see it first and it doesn't come to committee. At the staff level, I think it's best to come to the committee first. That is the point of this advisory body. And then from the in-house operations side, again, that's moving rather quickly. With your work plan, you've established a subcommittee to review that, and you would be able to look at that alongside staff as that's prepared. It is unlikely that would come to the full committee just based on timing, because we're already in August here. So, does that answer your question, Ben?
Yeah, I'm just trying to get an idea of how we fit into that.
Sure. The same would happen when the Wedgwood contract is up in 2027. I should say it's up for an extension. So council will first give direction on where to go if they want to initiate that extension or if they want to seek other options.
So that won't come to the committee before?
That would go to council first.
Because the last time it went straight to council and they renewed.
That is council's responsibility and purview to do that. I want to give an update on, we have a council member here.
Yes, youngster.
How are you?
Good.
Can I say something? Yeah.
Please.
Yeah. One of the things we're trying to do, I'm actually the council member that's assigned to this committee, and I am trying, the times didn't work last year on.
Where were you at 5?
I was sitting there listening.
Oh, were you?
Oh, yeah, I was listening. But one of the things I'm trying to improve is the communication so that you know ahead of time some of the things that we're thinking about, and some of the things we have to move quickly on. And I would rather things go through the committee and then come to the council, so we get your best advice on things. For example, on the Aaron Golf Balls, I know you haven't put it on there. I mean, what will happen is that list you produce will come to the council. We'll look at it and we'll say, no, we think you should do this, 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 and this, and maybe add something or change something. So that's our prerogative too. The Aaron Golf Balls, I listened to that. It's a concern. I mean, Andy and I went out and met with other golf courses the past few weeks about their issues. So if they're having issues and we're looking at them, we're certainly going to look at what's happening here. And so I hope you can reach out to me anytime. I'm the only one on the city council that golfs. So they've delegated to me, you know, keep in touch with this committee. We all have different responsibilities, but this is one that I have, and I am deeply committed to getting your best advice on, and then communicating that and bringing those issues to the city council, and hopefully we can get these issues addressed and hear the input from you, because it's very valuable before we put it on the agenda, and that's the relationship I hope to have with all of you. And so feel free to reach out to me anytime, and we'll try and get the city council in line with the input that you're receiving. So that's it.
Thanks for having our back, man.
There were a lot of comments tonight about the safety of the golf balls. And I was here Tuesday, you mentioned that you had been to a number of golf courses, and tonight you just mentioned that you talked to some of the golf course operators that had the same issues with Aaron golf balls. So I would like us, because we were going to be addressing this real soon, the opportunity to speak with you about this would be valuable.
Probably because we would likely do something rather quickly
Yes.
on that issue. Not like next year, in the middle of next year. We'll probably do something as soon as we could, to at least start thinking about how we address it. It's, I mean, I see what we've done, you know, with other golf courses that don't belong to the city, and I think there's the city council has a real interest in making sure some of the more flagrant stuff that's happening isn't happening. It's a tough issue, as you know. I mean, if you say, well, we'll put a line of trees there, they don't want trees, right? They don't want a fence, but they want the golf balls to stop. But so it is a difficult issue. I don't know the solution. I don't know the answer. That's why we have committees that think about this stuff, and they're the exact same issues that are happening at other golf courses that we're involved with. So, all right.
So stay tuned. We'll reach out to you.
All right. Okay. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Debbie, fill out a card for Victor.
I will do that.
Just two more things on the staff update. I want to say that we've talked a lot about no-shows and cancellations and those reservation booking deposits, which we never went forward with. I want to commend Vinny and Dave Cook and his staff. They've really done a great job of charging for no-shows and following the cancellation policy and the no-show policy as it existed. I know that's been challenging from a customer service perspective. It is hard to get people that are angry, but they're carrying the water on that, and I appreciate that. And I do think that's helped a lot with a better understanding of what our policies are, and that you can't just book a tea time and walk away from it. So that's been helpful. I also want to, I don't have all the information, but I do want to share, as I learn more, you might get an item that comes to the committee regarding private carts on the golf course. We've done some looking into with our insurance company on what those requirements are. Mostly it's okay where we're at, but there might be some modifications on what we can and cannot allow, and that includes the age of those drivers. We have some private cart users that are under the age of 18, so we're investigating that. Right now you have to be over the age of 18 to rent a cart from Dave's shop, so we're looking into that. I just want to prime the committee and the public that There will likely be changes on the horizon, and we'll keep you apprised as that comes along. All of it is in the light of liability and risk mitigation though. And that is all of my updates.
I'd like to comment on Dave and Vinnie. They put up with a lot
They do.
with the public, but they do an excellent job. Thanks, guys. All right, let's get some, who we decided, the Greens Subcommittee, myself and Grady, House Committee.
We got rid of it. Green subcommittee.
I know, we have to be on the committee, we just don't meet with them.
Well, you've got your update, if you want to go over your update that you have.
Yeah, I'm just putting Rick and Grady, House Committee, Mandy and Bob, I guess. Golf course finance, was that Bob and Ben?
That was Mark.
Mark and
We
myself,
don't have them.
and we have nothing.
Okay. So then we,
Well, if there is no,
Those subcommittees are gone.
subcommittees are gone.
They don't exist anymore.
It's only ad
Lone
hoc.
Ranger.
So what you're doing tonight is just updating if there were any updates from the previous quarter.
Which I have one.
And then these subcommittees will go away.
this will, okay, disappear.
They had a good run.
Well, under the subcommittee, why don't you give the report,
The final one.
the final one, the final one of this, before we go ad hoc?
Yeah, so this is the subcommittee quarterly course tour report. Overall, the golf course is in excellent condition. I don't think anyone would disagree with that. The fairways, so the team's working on narrowing the fairways to provide the course more definition to them, kind of tighten things up a little bit. They will also be getting back to cutting the path from the tees to the fairways starting again in the fall. The greens, I think we would all agree, are in outstanding condition, rolling really well. The fall greens maintenance will be September 24th through the 26th, where they will be punching the greens and working on temporary greens for those days. They're also working on mowing the fringes lower. That was something that was kind of newer to help people putt and promote putting from off the greens. Irrigation, obviously the pump station issues still exist. They've only got 2 of the 3 pumps active. They get around 1,000 gallons of water at night. Pump 3 repair has no ETA that we're aware of. They've had several water lines break over the last couple months, and they just keep fixing them as they occur until the master plan is finalized and a new irrigation system is set up to be put in. Bunkers, obviously a hot topic for a lot of people who play the course. Recently, they've been hand raked for better sand texture, and there's visible improvement, but this effort requires more labor and more time out of the team, which is always an issue for them. They do continue to be a concern, though, with players as playability has become difficult. They are in dire need of renovation. The renovation would also help with all the mounding that's happened around the greens over time. It's just it built up, so it's a lot harder to get up and out of them. As we know, the bunkers are not lined. This doesn't allow for proper drainage. It doesn't prevent contamination and erosion, and obviously this is a big part of the master plan, and we sort of talked about that earlier. There are plans to add additional holes to the practice putting green finally. That was great news to hear that. I know I've been pushing that for a while, and others too. There's also an effort underway to improve some of the positionings of the silver tees where they are currently, just kind of find better, flatter spots for those. We were feeling that there needs to be better out-of-bounds definitions on several holes, especially holes 8, 15, and 16. There's some important tournaments coming up. You've got the senior men's club. You've also got the city AM coming up, and I can just see already questions happening as what's inbounds, what's out of bounds. So I think maybe we need to stress that a little bit with the gym and crew to kind of help that. A lot of the markings are gone that used to be there. They've just worn off over time. So it's, where is the out of bounds line on 15? Is it the fence? Is it the right side of the cart path, the left side? So maybe Vinny and others can help clarify that. But before you have an issue in one of your big tournaments, it might be nice to make that really clear. I only say this because the other day we were playing and someone was on the cart path on 15. It was just sitting there. And the question was, is that in or is it out? Does it get to drop or not? So we couldn't find any OB line. We couldn't find any white on top of any of the fence anymore. So
That's not on the card.
No, there's nothing on the card.
So I think we need some better clarification, because I just see that coming back to be an issue at some point, so we need to add that in there. Trees, there have been 13 new trees planted since last report. It's quite a bit of trees, you'll notice. Also, there have been several holes that had increased amount of tree and bush trimming, including the left side of hole 14. All that got cleaned out, as we mentioned earlier. And you'll notice on the left side of 16, they took the back side of those trees out by the cart path there on 16. Tree trimming in general just has been more, very effective and more frequent than in previous years. It lowers the risk of falling trees and branches, which is always good. You'll notice the hedges around the practice putting green in the clubhouse were cut way back. This was for better visibility for carts going around corners and the cars coming by, so you could see a little bit earlier, as well as it promotes new growth. And we're told that by the end of the summer we should see green, and it won't just be piles of sticks anymore. Upcoming projects pretty much are all been put on hold for the most part until the master plan process is completed. Once that way we can make sure everything aligns with what's going in the master plan. A couple other notes of interest: obviously new flags are being installed as needed. No update on the driving range net that I'm aware of. And then for staffing, they currently have 10 full-time employees. However, one is out on long-term disability, so they're really working with 9. And daily attendance is limited at times, unfortunately, just as other people have things going on. They mentioned ideally an additional 3 to 5 employees would be useful, would really put them at the number they need. Like 2 mechanics, they currently have 1, 3 irrigators, and 2 licensed sprayers, and there's only 1 licensed sprayer apparently at this time on staff. So that's kind of what we had there. I don't know if there's any questions or comments. Rick, if there's anything you want to add?
No, you pretty much covered it.
I was just going to ask, how do they put forward the request for those employees?
So that's going to be part of the discussion I'm having with the city manager, and that would go to council as part of that salary schedule.
A question, you brought up an interesting point about tournaments. Most times during tournaments, there's ground under repair in collection areas that are clearly defined. We have a couple of them, and I don't know that we ever have those marked as such. For instance, 14, where everybody is right there. And it not only gives relief for a good shot, but it also saves a lot of damage in one area. So I don't know how that...
Yeah, that's in the road. We've always talked about, in front of 18, a lot of balls go down, people don't make it to the green, or down the slope, and it collects in the same area. And you can just be stuck in the worst line possible down there. So we had in the past asked the staff, the maintenance staff, to sort of circle off areas, just to keep people off. Even roping it off would be good for extended periods of time to let the grass recover, but there was always never any action on that.
So how does that happen?
Part of my discussion with Jim and Jeff yesterday was that they are going to raise the mower on 9 so you don't hit that shot and it rolls down and thing. Mm-hmm. And I'm assuming they're going to do that on 18 as well, just to keep the ball from rolling all the way down.
Yeah.
I forgot to put that in the minutes.
But maybe we should find a way that we can sort of express those things to Jim and Jeff to say, hey guys, have you thought about doing this? 'Cause I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's important for tournaments especially.
Yeah. Well, and just in general playability, of course.
Yeah.
People get frustrated and next thing you know they're hacking out of there and making a real mess.
As far as requesting stuff like that goes, is there a formal process for that? Like, for example, the unclear out of bounds lines, that feels like a pretty quick slap some paint on some posts.
Yeah.
And that's one of the details that maybe kind of falls by the wayside. Is there a way to, do we email the crew?
Yeah, it's a great question. Normally, that would be a direct email just to the superintendent. In kind of this interim phase, I would email Jeff and Randy Little. You're always welcome to copy me on that email, and I'm happy to make sure that gets followed up on. Jeff's absolutely out in the course a lot, and I think he tries to keep up with emails, but I know it can be hard when you're out in the field. So you can send it to all 3 of us if you see things. We'll make sure it happens.
Was there any comment made, I was playing today, and 14 had lots of little flags all over it, it was not in very good condition at all. Was there any irrigation issue that you mentioned?
No, he didn't on 14. I didn't bring it up on 14, so. But I can find out. Just give me an email or something and I'll find out from Jeff. Jeff doesn't want to be bothered with phones or anything. He wants to be hands-on on the course.
Yes.
And Jim comes by early in the morning and says, hey, we could do this and this, and let's pass it on to Jeff, and Jeff gets it done. It's pretty easy. They work well together.
Okay.
Anything else?
I'm still not clear on how to get that done. So specifically, there's the senior club championship coming up next week. How do I get somebody to mark the?
Out of bounds, that's the specific concern, we'll take care of it.
Okay.
Well, and the
Right.
and the areas that like ground and repair basically.
Ground under repair, white line around it, give relief.
I can mention it.
We can just get you a white spray can and you can.
I'll do it myself.
You can do it yourself.
I know exactly where
But
I land.
why don't we try and route things through Rick here as our
Sure.
chairperson?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Why don't we?
Tell me what you
Sorry,
do.
Rick, I just signed
Okay.
you up to.
Yeah.
But
Rick, I'm gonna
we
send
can
you an
send
email.
you emails, and copy all of us maybe so we're
Okay.
all aware.
Okay.
What's
No.
going on?
It's the easiest.
Oh, okay,
No,
well,
everybody.
just copy it. Just
Please send it to Rick and copy myself, and I'll make sure that the staff get it.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Apologize.
You know my delete button is. All right. Any other? Your first time, what'd you think, Ray? You got any comments on anything we've discussed? This is where you could.
Was Mandy got the house
What's that?
subcommittee? Are we on?
Wait, there's nothing, no update.
No.
There, tell me that. You got anything?
I just had a question on the finance stuff. Is that
Uh-huh.
chances there's a
Sure.
finance subcommittee?
Yes.
So the ending fund balance of 10.8 million
Mhm.
that we finished the fiscal year out with, is that the money that would be allocated towards the master plan? Is there
Yes.
additional or other money that would be put in place?
This is it right now. So the goal would be to start to, over the next couple of years, continue to build up that reserve in the fund
Master plan
balance.
fund.
Yeah.
Okay. My turn.
Rob?
This is down the road, but no matter what renovations are done, irrigation, the irrigation is going to be done. A lot of people are very nervous about losing the golf course, our 9 holes for months or a year. Tustin Ranch is still in the middle of their irrigation renovation. They're close 2 holes at a time. You play 18 holes. And I'd like to take a look at how we could do that. They manage that routing with Marshall's starter. I don't know if we can handle that with as many people as we have playing, but it was Troon Golf that runs that. I talked to the pro there, and they had a lot of discussion about how to manage the irrigation and let people still play golf and still make money for them. So whatever renovations we're going to do, we're going to have to manage that somehow. So that's just a comment, something that we should.
Well, that was an issue that they said at one of the other meetings, that they felt the course may be closed for a year and everyone had a heart attack.
Yeah.
Because there has to be a way of doing whatever the renovations are, but keeping the course open.
Yeah, so that would always be the intention, is to keep portions of the course open. This is not, fiscally and financially, it's much more effective to close the whole course because it gets done quicker. But that's not our goal. We want to keep the course open to some extent, even if it's at a minimum 9 holes. If there's an alternate option to do that, we would be certainly open to looking at that. But from the city's perspective, yes, we want to keep the course open and playable.
Okay.
And that might be something when you're meeting again with the, then,
Josh?
yes, Josh, to say what.
What would they recommend?
What's the
Yeah.
plan?
What came up earlier is to get the alternate hole on 15 going, so
Yeah.
you could do a hole over here.
That's a great
Work
idea.
back and back.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Is that it? Entertaining a motion to adjourn?
Well,
Second.
you were asking Gregory what he felt, he didn't get a
Did
chance
you
to
find
answer.
Did you come up with some? You want to input?
We're gonna be here all night. No, it's, thank you for, going slowly for me as we go through all this. I really appreciate the focus on, safety, keeping the course playable and keeping it, kind of community centric. I'm gonna backpedal a little bit and just say, like, I spent a lot of time on that golf course growing up. I worked there for a while in high school and college. I'm super supportive of the Cooks and Vinny and the whole staff there. I think that Wedgwood, in retrospect, like that sort of like big chain management hasn't been like a net community ad. So like I would like to focus on keeping this course in its entirety, focus on community benefit, and anything we can do to keep it in a good state of play, good community benefit, and just the awesome place that it is. That's going to be what I'd like to focus on.
Good to have you.
Good to be here.
Okay, still entertaining a motion to adjourn.
Second that.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Did you get that, Sam?
Got it. Thank you.